Imagine being put on the spot to defend your spouse's controversial views on national television. That's exactly what happened to actress Cheryl Hines when she appeared on The View to discuss her husband, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and his potential role as Secretary of Health and Human Services, DHHS. The sparks flew, and things got heated, especially when Sonny Hostin questioned RFK Jr.'s qualifications. But here's where it gets controversial. Hines, known for her role in Curb Your Enthusiasm, visited the ABC talk show primarily to promote her memoir, Unscripted. However, the conversation quickly shifted to her husband's political choices and his surprising endorsement of Donald Trump after suspending his own 2024 presidential campaign. The implication was clear. Trump might tap Kennedy to head the DHHS in return for his support. With Bobby, that was a very difficult decision to make with President Trump, Hines explained to a probing Hostin. She acknowledged the unusual political alliance, emphasizing that Trump and Kennedy found common ground despite their differing backgrounds. Hines made sure to mention that she personally didn't endorse any presidential candidate. When asked directly if she supported her husband's decision to back Trump, Hines responded with an honest, "It was complicated, right?" considering Kennedy's shift from being a Democrat to aligning with Trump. Remember, Hines and Kennedy have been married since 2014, making this a complex situation on many levels. Joy Behar, another co-host on The View, acknowledged the awkwardness of putting Hines on the spot, but still pressed her about RFK Jr.'s views, particularly regarding the efficacy of vaccines. Hines responded by stating that all vaccines are an important part of our health care, but stressed the need for safer vaccines and for listening to parents who believe their children have experienced adverse health effects after vaccination. And this is the part most people miss. It's not necessarily about being against vaccines, but about advocating for greater safety and transparency. But Hostin wasn't letting up. She directly challenged Hines on RFK Jr.'s suitability for the DHHS role, accusing him of spreading a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and it's just a very dangerous thing. I say it with the utmost respect. This is where the conversation really intensified. Hines attempted to address these allegations by referencing statements made during the COVID-19 pandemic, specifically about vaccine efficacy. However, she was interrupted by Hostin. In a moment of frustration, Hines interjected, May I finish?" She then countered Hostin's claims, stating, "When people Fauci were saying, when you get the vaccine, you cannot transmit COVID, it will stop COVID, that was disinformation." Hines was referring to Anthony Fauci, the former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. The segment concluded with Whoopi Goldberg thanking Hines for addressing important health-related questions and extending an invitation for her to return to the show. Hines, with a touch of sarcasm, responded, "Really? I would love that." The whole exchange raises some important questions. Is it fair to hold someone accountable for the views of their spouse, especially in such a public forum? And what constitutes misinformation in a rapidly evolving situation like a pandemic? Could RFK Jr. bring a fresh, albeit controversial perspective to the DHHS? Or would his past statements be too damaging? What do you think? Was Sonny Hostin too harsh on Cheryl Hines? Or was she right to challenge RFK Jr.'s qualifications? Share your thoughts in the comments.